Yo, what's good everyone? I'm here with my first video. If you're new to the channel and you're a big NBA fan, make sure to like and subscribe. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so we finally got basketball back with the Orlando bubble, and 2 weeks later, we already have 6 teams gone. But to be honest, the regular season has lived up to the hype and honestly exceeded it. We've been seeing exceptional basketball from just teams we wouldn't expect to see it, like from the Suns, who went 8-0 and almost squeezed their way into the play-in. Until Giannis headbutted Mo Wagner, sold them, and then Karis LeVert bricked a game winner. Tough luck, Suns fans. One team without tough luck, though, the Portland Trailblazers. They've had the bubble MVP, Damian Lillard, carrying them to 7-2 in the bubble, beating the Memphis Grizzlies in the play-in. Dame has been averaging 37 points per game, 9.5 assists per game, and 4.5 rebounds per game, which is ridiculous. He's led them to one of the highest offensive ratings in the restart, and honestly, he might be one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been pulling up from half court, and he just doesn't care. They've had role players like Gary Trent Jr. break out, averaging 16.9 points per game and giving them needed lockdown defense. Carmelo's been decent, hitting shots time to time. Today he hit a game winner, or not technically a game winner, but he hit a dagger against the Grizzlies, led to their dub. Dame's right-hand man, CJ McCollum, has been stepping up clutch. He had some nice plays near the end of the game with a broken back, but he doesn't care. They didn't want to play another one, so they got it done, as he said. Big man himself, Yusuf Nurkic, just came back from injury. He's been playing amazing. He's been averaging 17.5 and 10 rebounds per game. Sadly, one of his grandparents died today of COVID, which sucks. But they beat the Grizzlies and they're moving on. Good for him. Their first round matchup in the playoffs is going to be against the LA Lakers with LeBron and AD, the fans' favorite. But honestly, they've been looking bad. Their shooting splits have significantly dropped since entering the bubble. You can tell by looking at this chart. Shout out to King of the fourth quarter. They haven't been consistent at all. They've had a couple good games, but every time that AD or LeBron does good, the other's doing terrible. At first, LeBron was doing really bad and he started to pick it up. AD has been the opposite. They haven't really had a game where they both play well together, and if they want to have any success in the playoffs, or make it out of the first round even, they're going to need to pick it up. But the real question is, can the Trailblazers actually force an upset? And if we're being honest, maybe. As we all know, LeBron's been having an MVP type of season. I wouldn't give him it, I'd give Giannis it, but he's been right there. But since the restart, he's dipped down to 19 points per game and only 5.5 assists per game. They haven't found much success as a team. They're 3-5 right now, but all 3 of their wins have been super close games. And they've been losing to teams that they just shouldn't have lost to. They just lost to Sacramento, which is just a dumb loss. I know LeBron didn't play much, but if we're being honest, the Sacramento Kings had nothing to play for, and they still found a way to win. A lot of my good friends are huge Laker fans and just LeBron fans, and honestly, they're kind of worried. They've been seeing Dame, and he's been lighting teams up, and I don't know what the Lakers are going to do against him. I'm assuming they'll try something, putting like AC on him, but I don't see AC starting. And so do you put LeBron on him? Do you put KCP? Who guards Dame? I mean, I've seen Laker fans argue the same thing for AD, who's going to guard AD, but honestly, I don't think Nurkic is going to have a huge problem with AD. I think the conversation needs to be less what is Nurkic going to do against AD, but more what is AD going to do, period. He hasn't shown up since like the first game, and the Lakers need him. I'm a huge LeBron fan, but I just don't know what's going to happen this season. LeBron's been looking bad, and he's going to need to step it up, and I don't know if one series against the Trailblazers is going to be enough time. And this isn't an easy series we're talking about. The Trailblazers are 7-2 in the past 9 games and have been hot. Damian Lillard's been pulling up wherever. If I had to bet money, I'd still put it on the Lakers just because they have the star power and they've just been a great team for the whole season. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Blazers pull something. Charles Barkley has been saying since the beginning that he likes Dame against the Lakers, but we'll see what happens. I think this series is going to be a lot tighter than most people imagine, and I think there's going to be a lot of games that go down to the wire that end up being the last shot or going into OT, similar to what we've been seeing a lot from both teams, actually. Recently on NBA Twitter, I've seen a lot of people trying to push the narrative that Dame isn't actually a clutch player in the playoffs, and that the narrative of him being clutch in itself just isn't true. But I feel like as an NBA fan and just a watcher of the game, I think it's obvious that Dame can be really good in the playoffs, and he showed that last year. Dame has not been one to step away from big shots, hitting the game winner over PG and clutching out the game against the Nuggets at the second round last year. I remember I was in a hotel on vacation in Chicago, and it was like 2-3 a.m. and we watched that whole game, and it went into 4 OTs. I remember Rodney Hood was very clutch, but you just can't underestimate Dame. Without him, they wouldn't have been in that situation, period. They would be nowhere where they are, and I think that he has the potential to keep carrying them and show how good he can actually be. As a fan of the NBA and of basketball in general, I feel like I've never been this excited for playoffs. It might just be the COVID thing, and we haven't seen sports in so long apart from these couple bubble games. But I feel like these playoffs are going to be special, and they're going to be in history. People are saying that there might be an asterisk on this championship, but I think the asterisk doesn't make the championship of less value. It literally makes it of more value. It makes teams and players step up in hard times and show out against others. Like, sure, the first half of the season was cut off, but every single team is dealing with the same circumstances. I have a feeling that from the bat in the first round of the playoffs, games are going to be tight. The series might end 4-1, 4-2 in some series, but every game's going to be going down to the wire. For example, the Clippers-Mavs, that's a 2-7 series. Like, in the East, I don't see the Raptors giving the Nets like a real chance to do anything. But in the West, I feel like in every series, every team could do something, and especially in this Blazers-Lakers series. So if we go back to the title of this video, are the Blazers going to beat the Lakers? Honestly, nobody knows, but they have a chance. So don't sleep on them. They've got a real chance to be a contender in this year's playoffs and are a legit threat to teams. So yeah guys, it's been my first video in the NBA community. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.